Everything you see about him is an illusion, but what he loves the most is controlling youth.
These are not just like stories, they're sit-down interviews with childhood best friend, personal bodyguard for like 10 years, former employees, former artists that he worked with. It's everybody that was intimately involved with this guy, and everything that they said, I mean, he's a monster.
I reached out to him and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy celebrating 20 years of hits. And this is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother.
If I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that behavior.
Just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z.
You know what's striking? For the past 2 decades, Jay-Z has been presented as the ultimate figure in hip-hop. The man who rose from the Marcy Projects to owning stakes in streaming platforms, champagne brands, NBA teams, and shaping the soundtrack of countless lives. When people say he controls the youth, they really mean he influences what succeeds, what sounds hot, what looks aspirational, and what success is supposed to feel like. But now, after this Netflix documentary, you have 50 Cent, someone who's been in the same circles, attended the same award shows, and built his own fortune, saying on camera, "If I don't speak up, they're going to see all of us the way they see Diddy." That's a powerful statement. The documentary isn't just about Sean Combs. It's about a class of men at the top of hip-hop, wrestling with how history will remember them, who will be seen as a visionary and who will be remembered as a monster. And when you consider that Jay-Z already has a legal case in his past, Lance Rivera, Manhattan Club, guilty plea, 3 years probation, it changes the lens. Watching him remain silent while his peers are scrutinized on Netflix no longer feels like a detached billionaire observing from afar. It starts to feel like a man who knows exactly how quickly a narrative can shift once the law and public attention decides to replay the footage of your life.
Saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way he would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z? That
was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. So I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
You can really hear the shift in 50 Cent's tone whenever those parties come up. Online, he jokes, no doubt, but when he sits down and speaks seriously, it's almost clinical. He explains that he deliberately avoided Diddy's so-called freak-offs because his street instincts told him something about those rooms didn't sit right. It wasn't just rich people partying. Now, with the Netflix documentary laying out what those nights allegedly entailed, multi-day marathons, heavy drug use, women being coerced and filmed, it's easier to understand why 50 sound relieved. His curiosity never overpowered his caution, and in hindsight, that choice looks like one of the smartest decisions of his career.
It was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
Off my back, bro. Long as you win, I'm gonna win. Long as you win, be with it. I'll accept it. I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh. It's like 150 hugs.
You're a public person as well, and there was one instance in Harlem, and his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in
the car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. That was, it shows you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah, I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of a camera? Like that's one of the moments where you forgot.
50 Cent describes Diddy as someone who wore a perfect mask for the public, smiling, grateful, embodying black excellence on award stages. But behind closed doors, he moved like a god, convinced he was above everyone in the room. That almost exactly matches what the Netflix doc and federal filings outline. A man who allegedly used money, drugs, and promises of career helped to control people, then kept recordings of those freak-offs as leverage in case anyone spoke out. This is where Jay-Z slides back into the frame. Articles detailing their friendship show them orbiting each other for nearly 3 decades. Joint donations, co-headlining Screamfest, Diddy calling Jay a strategist and brother during private brunches where they literally joke about being a secret society of self-made billionaires. 50 Cent's message is clear. I saw enough from the outside to stay away, and I've been warning y'all for 10 years. Jay wasn't on the outside. He was in the photos, the VIP sections, the private jets. So when he goes completely silent while the doc plays and feds haul hard drives out Diddy's houses, it doesn't just look like caution. It makes people wonder what a man that's smart suddenly fears might be on tape.
See the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing different. He lined up D-Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Jaguar doesn't describe Jay-Z as some innocent bystander blindsided by the Netflix doc. She frames him like a chess player. In her words, Jay's silence right now isn't shock, it's strategy. She says his lawyers have him on a strict, saying nothing script while he watches Diddy's empire wobble, positioning himself to benefit from whatever power or assets shift next. It's the same pattern people point to when he navigated Dame Dash, DMX, and others running into legal or industry trouble. He doesn't get caught in the drama. He moves around it. When Rockefeller split, he didn't fall. He stepped over it, eventually running Def Jam and then building Roc Nation. Jaguar's framing casts his quiet not as passivity, but as calculated preparation for the next move.
You to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Yeah. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress.
Yeah.
Who died of an imaginary aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list.
Then she pushes into the territory everyone argues about. Jaguar claims Jay and Diddy operate like accomplices who leave no trace. A system where everyone in the inner circle allegedly knows about women who became inconvenient. Rumors of pregnancies and alleged interventions supposedly made those problems vanish. None of this has been proven in court, and some related civil suits naming Jay and Diddy together have already been dropped. That's exactly why it spread online so quickly. It feels like a dirty explanation for why two of hip-hop's most powerful men have stayed close for decades. Even without taking her claims as gospel, the timing is striking. Hours of testimony detail Diddy allegedly coercing, taping, and silencing people, and Jaguar frames Jay-Z not as shocked, but as someone making sure he steps out of the blast radius. That's the tension. Is Jay-Z the clean billionaire watching a former friend implode? Or is he the man who knows enough to stay silent while quietly protecting himself? Some critics go further, pointing to DeHaven, who claims he opened doors for Jay, introduced him to serious street connections, financed early moves, and risked his own freedom while Jay sharpened his pen. By the time success arrived, DeHaven was pushed out, and the official story became, I did this myself, with little acknowledgement of those who bore the cost. That fits a pattern. The cleaner the brand, the more the messy co-authors of the rise get edged out.
The night that he stabbed someone named Lance Rivera. And it seems like Jay-Z tried to ruin this guy's career. He was a business partner of the notorious B.I.G. and was stabbed in the stomach and shoulder back in December 1999. The stabbing is alleged to have occurred after Jay-Z confronted Lance over reports that he had leaked his third studio album. And you guys know leaking music is a big deal. These artists spend months making these albums, and then once they're leaked, they lose a lot of the profit. Jay-Z was charged for the attack and turned himself into the police the following day, after initially pleading not guilty and denying any wrongdoing. In October 2001, he pleaded guilty to third-degree assault and was sentenced to 3 years probation. Here's a scan of Jay-Z's mugshot profile, and as you can see, that is Jay-Z in the mugshot, and he doesn't look happy.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night.
So this all went down at the Kit Kat Club, which is no longer around, but it was the hot spot in New York, and it became a crime scene.
Once inside, he had a confrontation with record producer Lance Rivera. Cops say the argument heated up during a party celebrating a new release by...
Exactly. It's a masterclass in strategic silence. Jay-Z knows the power of narrative timing. He's seen how the courts, media, and public perception can be weaponized, and he's clearly aware that speaking too soon or reacting emotionally could entangle him unnecessarily. Watching Diddy's saga play out publicly, he's in a unique position. Every move by investigators, every subpoena, every Netflix frame is data. He doesn't need to intervene yet. He's calculating how to maintain distance while assessing risk, influence, and the potential fallout for his own legacy. It's not about innocence or guilt in this moment. It's about control. And in Jay-Z's world, controlling the story often matters as much as controlling the law itself.
Everybody at the scene clearly knew that Jay-Z was involved, and he was even quoted in court saying, "I stabbed Lance Rivera." Jay-Z did end up turning himself in. He had a bail of $50,000, which he was able to pay, so he got out a few hours later. A press conference with his lawyers labeled Jay-Z as an innocent man. Quote, "To think that this guy, who is as gentle as can be, has anything to do with this is crazy," end quote. And I don't know what's going on with Lance, but he actually came out and stated that Jay-Z, in fact, did not stab him. Lance recalls that night and claims that he was surrounded by 10 knives, a bunch of guys with all these knives in the club. The reporter asked him, "Was Jay-Z the one who stabbed you?" He laughs before responding, "No, Jay-Z was not the guy that actually stabbed me that night." The executive clarifies that they did have a conversation right before getting hit in the head with a champagne bottle, so it probably was one of Jay-Z's people.
Exactly. The problem isn't just proximity, it's pattern. Jay-Z's history with Diddy isn't a one-off photo or cameo. It's decades of shared spaces, decisions, and influence. Every studio session, award show, or high-profile event becomes part of a timeline that investigators, journalists, and the public can now trace. That early bond matters because it establishes context, who had the opportunity to observe, who had access to information, and who had the ability to act, or choose not to. That it's uncomfortable because it highlights how intertwined power structures are. Being close enough to see how the room worked also means being close enough for questions to arise later about knowledge, accountability, and decisions made or avoided back then.
thing we're not gonna do is sit here and act like Jay-Z and Diddy haven't been friends for years now. Ever since Jay-Z got wrapped into this lawsuit against Diddy, he's been trying to distance himself, and his lawyer Alex went as far as to say that Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs, saying they knew each other professionally for a number of years. Just like in all professions, people know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to an NBA All-Star game, they support each other. So he's listing out these events that Jay-Z and Diddy have been spotted at together. Now, of course, there was a ton of reaction on social media because we've all known for years now, ever since they came into the game, Jay-Z and Diddy have been close. So if Jay-Z wants to sit here and send his lawyer off to the media to tell us that they aren't friends, I'm going to sit here and combat this and talk to you guys about how good of friends they really are. Now, we all know it seems like the music industry is going through its own Me Too era, with Diddy as the face of it. Now, this lawsuit, originally filed in October 2024, was amended on December 8th to include Jay-Z's name. The accusations center around an alleged incident at an after party following an awards show more than 2 decades ago. We all know that this involves a 13-year-old girl, and the details are disturbing, but Jay-Z claims he has nothing to do with it.
All due respect to Jay-Z, there's an awful lot of pictures of you running around in your undies at parties with Diddy. And so you were at some of these parties. You know, when you see that, it's hard to walk away from that visual.
Now, to really break down their relationship, their friendship, we have to go all the way back into the 90s. Jay-Z and Diddy first met in the 90s because they were both rising stars in the New York music scene. Both were born into single mother households in rough neighborhoods. They used their shared experiences to forge a bond that extended beyond music, way beyond music. Their first major collaboration actually came in the wake of a tragedy, the death of Notorious B.I.G. The two joined forces on Jay-Z's album In My Lifetime. 2 years later, they teamed up again for Diddy's single, Do You Like It? Do You Want It? No, sir. I'm gonna give you no consent right now. No. In 2001, Jay-Z said, we were young, hungry, and dealing with a lot of pain. That kind of energy brought us together. Which right off the bat, that is a concerning friendship. Like, major red flags go up because you both are clearly like traumatized from something in your past and you're kind of egging each other on. Now, Diddy early on created his record label Bad Boy Records, and then a few years later, Jay-Z followed suit with Rockefeller. In 2012, Diddy was quoted saying, Jay has always been ahead of the curve. I respect his hustle from day one. Now, in the early 90s, Diddy was trouble, just as much trouble as he has been in the 2000s.
As their brands grew, Jay and Diddy's friendship became a carefully curated public alliance. In 2005, following Hurricane Katrina, they announced a joint $1 million donation to the Red Cross. an act framed by the mainstream media as hip-hop's power players stepping up as statesmen. In 2007, they co-headlined the Screamfest tour, trading sets and joking on stage, while backstage footage of Diddy playfully smacking Jay on the backside was dismissed as harmless bro energy. A clip 50 Cent later highlighted when Combs' lawsuit surfaced, emphasizing just how comfortable these men appeared together. Fast forward. While some of the alleged exploitation and mistreatment described in the documentary supposedly occurred behind closed doors, during freak-offs held every March 9th. To mark Biggie's death, with staff flown in, pills supplied, and encounters allegedly recorded for Diddy's private archive, Jay and Beyonce continue to be photographed at awards afterparties, Rock Nation events, and other high-profile billionaire gatherings. Legally, this doesn't implicate Jay, but it visually situates him within the same inner circle that former staffers and a gigolo in the series describe as the engine behind Diddy's most disturbing behavior.
Jay-Z's personal and professional life intersected with Diddy's influence. Jay-Z started dating Beyonce in 2001 when she was 19 and he was 33. Their romance often unfolded at high-profile events, which were typically hosted by Diddy. That same year, Jay-Z and Beyonce made their relationship public by appearing in Vanity Fair's November issue. Their first musical collaboration, Bonnie and Clyde, released in 2002 and became a cultural moment. In 2003, Beyonce branched out from Destiny's Child and collaborated with Diddy on the track Summertime. The collaboration heightened the close connection between the two artists, saying, quote, "Beyonce and I have always vibed creatively," Diddy responded in an interview back in 2004. Years later, Beyonce continued to show support for Diddy, attending his lavish 50th birthday bash in 2019. She also made a heartfelt social media post in honor of Diddy. So when these two try to disconnect themselves from this man, I question, what's really going on here? Especially because we talked about 5 men who came forward and they had separate suits, and a lot of them were between the years 2019 through 2022. So it's not like all of his bad acts were early in the 90s or the 2000s.
Thank you. I love you. I'm having a great night.
Now in 2005, we saw these two men partner together for Hurricane Katrina. Also comment below if you were in Hurricane Katrina. Comment below and share a little story. The two donated $1 million to the relief fund. A gesture that showed how close these two were, that they were discussing this tragedy and then working together on how to donate and then to probably get a tax write-off from it. I mean, let's be real, people. Speaking to the AFP at the time, Diddy emphasized on the importance of unity, saying, "When you hear black people say brothers and sisters, it's really true. These are all the people I know and I'm related to somehow, some way. The human race is family." And at this time, people were loving Jay-Z and Diddy because they were doing so many good things, at least on the surface level. I mean, really, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lawyer, you're gonna act like these two aren't close friends? Look at them over here hanging out, donating a bunch of money. Now, just 2 years later, in August 2009, Jay-Z and Diddy performed together at Screamfest Music Festival. Sounds scary. Kind of reminds me of Astro World, where a bunch of people died. Now, at this event, a resurfaced video shows Diddy playfully but aggressively spanking Jay-Z twice on stage, prompting backlash from fans and rivals alike. We've heard that Diddy has handfuls of male victims. So I don't know. I don't want to assume his sexuality. I mean, at this point, who cares? But he's clearly bi or something. In 2009, a photo of Diddy and Jay-Z in a deep conversation at Diddy's birthday party became a centerpiece at the Rock and Roll and of Hip Hop exhibition. I wonder what they were talking about.
It starts looking like a carefully woven ecosystem of influence and power. When you combine decades of documented behavior, insider testimony, high-profile alliances, and federal attention, the story shifts from mere celebrity drama into something structural. Patterns of control, protection, and strategic silence that shape careers and reputations. What once read as gossip now reads as a potential blueprint of how elite networks operate behind the scenes, and why some people stay untouchable while others bear the cost.
Reached out to him, and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy celebrating 20 years of hits. And This is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother.
Exactly. The problem isn't just proximity, it's pattern. Jay-Z's history with Diddy isn't a one-off photo or cameo. It's decades of shared spaces, decisions, and influence. Every studio session, award show, or high-profile event becomes part of a timeline that investigators, journalists, and the public can now trace. That early bond matters because it establishes context, who had the opportunity to observe, who had access to information, and who had the ability to act, or choose not to. That it's uncomfortable because it highlights how intertwined power structures are. Being close enough to see how the room worked also means being close enough for questions to arise later about knowledge, accountability, and decisions made or avoided back then.
His houses have been raided and he's been locked up. Jay-Z's been tight-lipped, so has Beyonce. Despite their long-standing friendship, Jay-Z has remained notably silent on the matter. His absence from the public discourse drew criticism, including from 50 Cent, who mocked the rapper on Instagram by posting a milk carton of Jay-Z with the word "missing" caption on it. Anyone asking, where's Jay-Z now? Especially now that your friend Diddy is all locked up, why don't you go and defend him? As allegations against Diddy just keep escalating, Jay-Z is now tied into these, and he's trying everything in his power to disconnect. Allegedly, like Venmoing people to pay them off, allegedly intimidating. I don't even want to say anymore because I'm kind of scared of this man, but he is going to run an entire campaign to try to disconnect himself from Diddy and this mess.
It starts looking like a carefully woven ecosystem of influence and power. When you combine decades of documented behavior, insider testimony, high-profile alliances, and federal attention, the story shifts from mere celebrity drama into something structural. Patterns of control, protection, and strategic silence that shape careers and reputations. What once read as gossip now reads as a potential blueprint of how elite networks operate behind the scenes, and why some people stay untouchable while others bear the cost.